In this video, we'll show you how to export invoices from DesignerLogic and import them into QuickBooks Desktop. If you haven't already viewed the QuickBooks Desktop setup video, please do so beforehand. First, you want to come over to the main invoices page in DesignerLogic where you see all of your invoices for every project. Come up to the download for QB link and click it. And here we have a list of all the invoices and all the items that are on them. And you can see over here under the exported column that they all have no, they have not yet been exported. Once you export these, we'll change that to yes, which will remove those items from this list. So the first thing you want to do on this page is to filter this list to have only the invoices that you want to export. You can do this by date range. A lot of people do it every couple days or every week. You can also do it by project if you want to just export one project's invoices. We're going to do it in this case just by a single invoice so that we can show it to you easily. So we choose the invoice from up here and hit filter. And down here we'll see that invoice with all the different items on it. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that in DesignerLogic, a sales code is called an item in QuickBooks. So any sales codes that you're using are going to be created as items in QuickBooks. So what we do once we have this list how we want it, we just click download, and that's going to download this to an Excel file. And then we want to update this list to show that we've actually exported them. So we hit select all, and then we mark them as exported by clicking update. That will remove them from this list. And you can see these steps right up here at the top. Now, if we go over to QuickBooks, we want to start the importer into QuickBooks. So we go to our program list, and we open up the transaction importer. And here we want to browse to that download file we just did, which in this case is this invoice export file, and we keep all those in a DesignerLogic downloads folder, but you can have your own folders for downloads. Click on that file, and down here we want to make sure that we choose this is going in as an invoice. Now, as a one-time thing, you can choose options and you can choose a number of different things depending upon how you use QuickBooks. You don't have to do this every time, but that's right here. But basically you just want to have this as invoice, selected as invoice, and then hit next. And you'll see the spreadsheet that you're going to import into QuickBooks right here, and go to next. Now you're going to need to map the fields to the correct place to go into QuickBooks. This is actually very easy to do. If you go back to DesignerLogic, you can see there's this download invoice import map. So if you click on that, that will download that little map. And if we go back to the importer and we hit load map down here, you'll see, we keep that in our downloads folder, you'll see these little maps, and in this case this is an invoice map, so click it, and it's going to automatically put all the fields in the correct place to map so you don't have to worry about it. Then just click next. It's going to show you everything you're importing again, hit next again. And over here you just want to choose the item type and the account that is going under, and this depends on how you use QuickBooks, but you can put anything you want in there. And then hit finish and OK, and it's going to validate and then import all those items into QuickBooks as an invoice. Now we have it done and we have a log for it, and we're just going to click OK. And if we go back into QuickBooks and we go to our customer center and we go under invoices here, we can see at the top we have this invoice right here that's been imported into QuickBooks. And if we open it up, you can see all the items are in there. All the sales codes are now item codes in QuickBooks, and so we have a brand new invoice in QuickBooks that is the exact same thing as what was in DesignerLogic. Now you can do this for multiple invoices at the same time. Some people do 10, 20 invoices at the same time. We just did this as a single one to make it easy to understand.